Bless.
That's a good start. Thank
This goes by pretty fast, so just read it on your own.
I love the character you gave me. I just read her description. She's like fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course, she's pretty important, but she comes in kind of a bit later.
Oh, okay.
Like a couple hours in.
Oh, okay. I'll tell my cat to stay up. Buddy, you better stay up, bunny. You better stay up.
Avalon?
Well, I don't really know his personality yet, so
I'm
just gonna improvise. Cheers! A saint's blood and good fortune to all!
Is this me?
Yep.
Voices. So many voices. Laughing. 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 Was this the 10th such party? The 20th? I no longer had an idea. The Lord's guests merrily drank of my blood. My father had not blessed me with a miracle, so wealthy nobles could fill their goblets with it. My blood was for the poor, for the infirm and the destitute. Why am I here? Why am I not doing my father's work? With each passing moment, my body grew colder and colder, while a mad, fiery fervor spread among the partygoers. Father, it hurt. My soul hurt far more than my body. It felt like it was cracked in a dozen places, about to shatter. Again and again, I told myself it was just a trial, that God was simply testing me, but I didn't think it could bear it much longer. A horrible miasma spilled from the wounds of my flesh, filling the room. It was probably an illusion, something only I could see. The miasma soon began consuming my spirit. All my life I spent telling myself to be pure, just, righteous, and all of that was corroding away, ripping me asunder. Father, O Lord, of thy mercy, cut off mine enemies, and destroy all of them that afflict my soul. For I am thy servant. I am thy servant. Please, O Father, deliver unto these sinners thy holy judgment. Cast them down until the depths of hell, for the sins they would commit against thy faithful servant. Disguised as a prayer, I cursed them. For the first time in my life, I wished someone ill. I did what a saint, what the daughter of God, must never do. And in that moment, I committed a sin greater than anyone else in that room.
The Gil! Look at the feast!
I began to hear panicked voices rising up around the hall. However, I was completely oblivious to the cause of the unrest. In fact, I assumed that perhaps God had heard my wish and struck down some of the partygoers. The Lord marched over to where I sat in chains, grabbing me by the hair and yanking my head up. In his other hand, he held a sword. A disgusted grimace was carved onto his face, as though he was looking down at the filthiest thing in the world.
You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin.
This is worse than I expected. The stench of rotting flesh hung in the air. Corpses were strewn about in the room in varying states of decay. Blood pooled on the floor, black and thick as mud. An eyeball hung loose from one body, half decomposed and about as much liquid as it was a solid. While many white bone was visible through patches of flesh that had rotted away entirely. Some had been worked to death. Others died of any number of diseases. And there were the lucky ones. Several bodies bore stab wounds from head to toe. Others looked like someone had tried to rip them too. Some had been burned until their entire bodies shriveled. And some were covered in blisters. There are no shortages of people who had obviously been tortured. Though the man on the other end of torture, the Lord Barnier, thought of it as more of a leisure activity. The Lord is spoken of in whispers as the second coming of the great tyrant of old. Though it wasn't until I snuck into this manor and saw it for myself that I truly understood how accurate that was. He was a damned psychopath. I apologize that I couldn't make it in time to save you all, too. I'm hardly a religious man, but for you, I think I can spare a prayer. Rest in peace. Not myself today. Though I suppose that shouldn't be a surprise, considering what today is. Wasn't that girl from the other days among the dead? No, I need to stay focused. If this goes south, I'll be the one joining this pile of bodies. God, I'm starting to get a little nervous. Don't go weak on knees now, Jacobo. I can never expect to go into this world if I can't even keep myself together for something as straightforward as this. I can do this. No problem. Let's start ourselves a revolt. It all began a little over 2 weeks earlier. The local Lord Iron Fist ruler was destroying the commoners, and this went doubly for those living in poverty, who were barely scrapping by before taxes. You could hardly take 3 steps out in the slums without hearing someone curse the Lord. I had no idea who first proposed the plan. Everything came together so smoothly, so quickly, it's almost a blur. It started as the everyday litany of complaints hurled back and forth between the usual crew of young, indignant men in the pub soon escalated, ballooning into a full-fledged plot to strike back. He treats us like dog shit. We're the ones working in his goddamn land. Let's give the bastard what's coming. Over the next few days, word of plot spread through the slums, and our volunteers grew at an impressive pace. And the more people we had on board, the more realistic all started to become. My original plan was amounted to charging in headlong with whatever weapons we could scrounge together. It quickly evolved into a more sensible scheme to infiltrate the Lord's manor and free slaves. It's no secret that the Lord is purchasing far more slaves than he should have any reasonable use for. What we didn't know was what he did with the slaves. The banquets he loved so to throw were actually sick, sadistic torture parties. The best we could do was infer that the living conditions were less than ideal from the fact that the Lord kept inquiring more. And why the plan to free the Lord's slaves was undeniably rooted in a righteous desire. I would be lying if I said everyone's intentions were so pure. We wanted to right injustice, absolutely, but the prevailing desire was for vengeance, to give the Lord a little comeuppance. Part of it was also calculated to be advantageous for it to look like a slave revolt rather than a civilian uprising. If we struck from the outside, we were liable to bring the Lord's wrath down upon more than just a handful of us involved. the blow came from the inside, you couldn't blame us. Secondly, the Lord's mansion sat atop a hill, which meant his soldiers had advantage of terrain. It'd be nigh impossible for a band of lowly, ill-equipped peasants to break through his defenses. We certainly didn't have the money to hire mercenaries. No amount of righteous anger was getting us anywhere near that manor. On the other hand, quietly getting one person inside to stir the pot was far more feasible. So ultimately, freeing the slaves was a means to an end. There was our best chance to do the Lord a real blow. Of course, that didn't mean we wouldn't save as many people as we could, nor did it mean it would be any easier to pull off, or that any of us wouldn't make it out alive. The plan went as follows. We would find a slave trader willing to sell one of us to the Lord. Once that infiltrated, it would spread word of the scheme to the other slaves, trying to get as many of them on board as possible. Finding a slave trader willing to cooperate was surprisingly easy. The businessmen, the slaves, their product. While the majority didn't give a damn what happened to the slaves after they received payment, there were more than a few who were displeased knowing their precious wares were being squandered. Slaves are supposed to be long-term workers, but not meant to be expendable. They require food and rest and some semblance of reasonable living conditions. It was far from a glamorous life, obviously, but most sensible slave owners at least had a vested interest in keeping their workers alive. However, that was far from the case with Lord Barnier. Slaves were, of course, the property of whoever purchased them, and a mere slave trader had no place complaining about how they were being treated. That didn't mean its traders had to like it, though. There was a smart collective of them who staunchly refused to do business with the Lord, quietly mocking any who did. Nobody openly spoke ill of the Lord, let alone oppose him directly. Not only because this land was under his control, but because he was a madman, and everyone knew it. So to be helping us get in, and nothing more. But that was fine. That's all we needed from them to put our plans into action. And the vanguard of our operation, the one who would infiltrate the Lord's manor, was me. I volunteered for the position, partially in the heat of the moment, also because I was confident I could pull it off. Above all, though, I didn't want to believe that I couldn't manage such a straightforward task. I had to step up and take initiative, or I would never escape this life as a poor, lowly slum dweller. Crawling through the dirt, everyone, nobles and peasants alike, looking down on me, thinking I'm worthless. To be me for my whole pathetic life. Like hell I was gonna let that happen. I wanted to claw my way up, as high as I could manage. I didn't want to surrender, to accept I was powerless. I wanted to make something of my one and only life. We chose the beginning of the Lord's next banquet for my own infiltration. That was when I saw the horror for myself. The abuse and the torture he puts the slaves through. It was a goddamn blood banquet. Any mistake, no matter how small, would invite harsh discipline. If Barnier was in a particularly foul mood that day, he would physically beat the wrongdoer. He had a particular fondness for activities that drew blood, though. He would regularly gather together nobles with similar predilections in this manner. Once the banquet had begun, it should continue for around 2 weeks. The first thing I did after infiltrating was spread word of the plan to the other slaves. To be honest, I assumed it would be easy getting them to cooperate. They should have reviled Barnier more than anyone, after all. But I couldn't have been more wrong. Every ounce of willpower had been drained from them. They were malnourished, unrested, and violently oppressed. I could hardly have convinced them to swat a mosquito. He had it completely under his thumb. Everyone was utterly terrified to fight back against Barnier. They just as soon take their own lives. Hardly a day in, the plan already seemed to have hit a wall. A full week has been trying and failing to convince a single soul to assist in a revolt. Just so I was beginning to fear it might not work after all. Jordan. He was a tall, muscular slave who spent most of his time doing physical labor. Despite the poor conditions, he seemed to keep themselves in rather good shape.
Okay, I found this on the web for
and like the other slaves, his eyes weren't filled with fear and resignation. It wasn't hope I saw in them either. Rather, they looked like the eyes of a bloodthirsty wolf. Its unkempt, greasy blonde hair only served to amplify the primal impression he gave off. Between that and a faint cocky smirk visible on his lips, he more resembled the head of a gang of ruffians than a slave. I wasn't sure it was entirely wise to accompany him anywhere. Against my better judgment and far too little information, I followed the man to the Great Hall. There's a dozen or so nobles and upper-class men and women clustered around the hall. The air was filled with the scent of aromatic herbs. It wasn't long before I realized they were meant to mask the smell of blood. A large table was lined with plates stacked with piles of glistening, dark, red meat. Noblemen sneered at us with wet lips as we entered the room. The contrast between the nobles' practice, graceful mannerisms, and the grotesque feast of which they were partaking was so bizarre, I simply stood there aghast. There's no room for anger to form. The Lord stood on a platform like a small stage at the far end of the room.
Are you the slave who offered to be the day's entertainment?
The buff man nodded, dropping down to one knee. What does he mean by entertainment?
Surely you're tired of merely inflicting pain on helpless slaves. Would you, by chance, be interested in something a little more exciting?
Could you be any more disrespectful? Lord Barnier, you'd do best to rid yourself of the barbarians such as him.
There, give the poor man a break. You can't expect an uneducated slave to be properly versed in the ways of polite society. Now, elaborate, slave.
Me and him, we duel right here, right now.
Huh? Do you seriously think we haven't already pit slaves against each other numerous times but now? And that's all.
Tell me, were they as vigorous as the two of us? Young and jumping at the bit.
Well,
If all you want to see is a couple of half-dead slaves limply flailing each other and out themselves. But you're not gonna find many here who can give you a fight with some real oomph. You know. Hell, half the slaves you had probably keel over with just a little shove. So I figured you might be up for a little change of pace. A barbarian like me.
Whoa, I never agreed to this.
Suck it up. You're a slave. Since when have you had the right to agree to anything?
You make a compelling argument. Gratien, was it?
My lord knows my name. I'm honored.
But because you came very highly recommended. A slave trader said you were descended from a line of warriors that made a name for themselves fighting in the ancient Colosseum. I had assumed he was exaggerating. But perhaps there was some truth to it after all.
Who can I say? I didn't tell you about it. I can tell you. It's not making it wrong.
Fought in a Colosseum? Descended from gladiators? I'm supposed to go one-on-one against him?
Video. Guards, bring these two swords.
Sir. Shit. What's he hoping to accomplish? To win Barnier's favor? I guess I should hope I can catch him by surprise as soon as...
Hey, look at that.
What?
Eyes forward. And keep it down. Be careful. Don't get any wise ideas, got it? Go along with everything on the level.
What are you scheming?
You'll find out tomorrow. Assuming you can handle a sword anyhow.
2 guards approach us, each carrying a longsword. It was heavier than I expected and it felt awkward in my hands. Both our blades were badly chipped, clearly old and battle-worn. Of course, they wouldn't give us new, quality weapons to repair as slaves, but the sword was still a sword. Even though they may have been, I still had to be careful or I'd be dead before I ever got the slave revolt off the ground. That said, I survived this long in the slums. I was completely helpless and inexperienced with a dagger. Though I wasn't sure how much help that would be now. The longer 2-handed weapon still felt awkward in my hands. As I squinted at the blade's hilt to adjust my grip, trying to familiarize myself with the feel of it, Barnier took a seat, readying themselves to spectate. This when he caught sight of what lay hidden at the back of the stage. What? I stood there, staring agape, completely forgetting I was but moments from the door with a man twice my size. At the back of the stage was what looked like an altar, draped in a thick white sheet, and stained red. Atop it sat a young girl, covered in gashes. Her head was drooped, so I couldn't see her face. But judging from her size, I didn't think she could be more than 10 years of age. Some wounds were older, and had already been scabbed over. Some were swollen, bright red protrusions on the pale skin. Some were oozing pus, and others were so fresh, they were still bleeding. It was difficult to find a part of her body that wasn't cut. Hey! What do you think you're doing to that girl? I don't care who you are. No one deserves that. Even as I shouted at the Lord, the girl remained motionless. She seemed unconscious. Not dead yet, but it wouldn't be long.
Silence, cur! I don't recall giving you permission to speak. Or if you'd rather lose your head right now, continue on as you are.
Damn despot.
Now go on, get started. Give us a show befitting of this grand affair.
Finding my urge to snap back at him, I turned to face a slave named Gratien. The other guests lined the walls, whispering among themselves, speculating about the potential victor. The crowd was so overwhelmed in Gratien's favor. To absolutely no surprise, they didn't even bother taking bets.
Try not to go down in one blow, kid.
Hold on, what's the point of this? Slowly, Gratien lowered into a crouch. Next second, he leaped at me like a tiger. There's an audible whoosh. Before I even had time to gasp, he was mere inches away. What choice do I have? I swung my sword up, catching Gratien's blade mid-descent. I attempted to parry, but there was far more weight in its strike than I expected. The impact caused my hands to sting painfully, my knees to buckle. I clenched my teeth, trying, at the very least, to hold my ground. Gratien barely gave me time to recover, let alone strike back, before launching into his second attack. He handled a longsword so effortlessly, swinging it through the air in such impressive, perfect arcs, that I could hardly believe we were both using the same weapon. Huh! I twisted out of the way, but not quite in time. The tip of his blade skimmed the skin of my neck. And then, not even giving me a chance to catch my balance, he thrust his blade at me. While I managed to deflect the attack just in time, I was unable to follow through. Meanwhile, a wide, mocking smirk spread across Gratien's face. He seems to be having the time of his life.
Come on, kid. You're gonna have to do better than that if you want to keep your head.
I wrote out several insults in my head, but unlike him, I couldn't spare the energy to put them into words.
Pick it up, boy.
God damn!
all you got, kid. I thought you'd fare a little better.
Shut your damned mouth! I was stuck on the defensive. With every strike, he pushed me further and further back. I was almost up against the wall. I thought he said it was part of some plan. Or was he just trying to get me to let my guard down? He's conspiring with the Lord? He must be. Why challenge me to a duel, though? Did someone spill word or plan to him?
Come on! Give me your best shot, boy!
Grr! Yes, very funny. You know damn well I'm barely managing as it is.
Hey, you got to at least try. Don't want to put our audience to sleep now, do we?
Yeah. Even the bones in my forearms are starting to sting. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up.
Here, let me show you how it's done.
God, I can't even get a damn inch on him. Much more of this and I'll be up against the wall. I'm dead if I don't go on the offensive. That's my last chance. I've still got breathing room. Hey, big guy! You may think you have the advantage, but not for long!
Ha! That's rich. Coming from a guy who can't even get one swinging on me.
Was that a trick to get your guard down? I've been saying this one just for you, meathead! Good luck dodging it! With that hulking body of yours!
Now that's more like it. Let me have it, kid.
I hopped backwards a couple of paces until my heel was pressed up against the wall. There was no backing down. Not anymore. Breathing heavily, I lifted my blade, pointing it at Gratien. He pointed his in turn, a cocky grin plastered on his face. And then, I kicked off the ground, hard! Sending me flying towards him. My sword held down near my waist. His above his head. And then, whoosh! He whipped, his blade ripping through the air just over my head. The mere force of the gale created by his wing was so intense. For a brief moment, I thought he might have knocked my head clean off my shoulders. I was still breathing. And despite the exhaustion, my mind was incredibly clear and focused. I hadn't swung it up at him. It slid across the floor. Your back's wide open. I lurched to my feet, spinning around. I swung my sword at his neck with everything I had. What? My would-be grand comeback was deflected from behind without a bat of an eye. And hardly a wimpy deflect for that matter. My hands felt like they were on fire.
A little bit on the dirty side that was. Hey, not half bad, kid.
Damn it!
Just a little more room for that swing and you might have landed it. Too bad, too bad.
I don't stand a chance against him head on. But he's not one to fall for the same trick twice. I need a new plan.
Back against the wall with ya.
Son of a... Grr.
What's the matter, kid? That's all you got. After all that talk, I was expecting a little more from you.
Grr. He's got me completely under his thumb. I'm dead if I don't do something. I can barely lift my arms anymore. It's getting harder to breathe. My vision's going blurry. I can't die yet. Not here. Not now. Not to this damn brute. There has to be something. An opening I'm not seeing. Anything. Some way to turn the tables. Huh? Am I imagining it? Did I react to that quicker than usual? Is he doing what I think he's doing? Patterns were forming in my mind. I've been through this routine so many times now, my body instantly knew what came next. I parried his strike entirely by reflex. I wasn't so full of myself as to think it was a sign I was gaining the upper hand. As much as I loathed to admit it, he had every imaginable advantage over me. I should have realized what he was doing sooner, but I've been so focused on keeping my head attached, my sword in my hands, that I didn't have spare mental capacity to see beyond that. He was in complete control. The only reason I was able to keep up with him was because he was letting me. Because he was repeating the same sequence of attacks again and again. If I'm right, then next, he come from above.
Oh!
Right on the money. A clang, like the pealing of a bell, echoed through the hall as our blades collided. It was a much clearer, much satisfying sound that I had made when I was struggling to keep up. I still don't know what he's scheming, but I'm not going to throw away this chance to win back some ground. Sparks flew with each clash of our swords. A Gratien's smirk grew wider. I could hear murmuring bubble up in the gallery as the tides turned around. Cheering, cursing, confused gasps. But before long, the sound seemed to grow distant. It was just me and Gratien, and the bubble was silence. Not even the sound of metal striking metal. The heavy breathing. The stomping of our feet. The distractingly loud pounding of my heart. The blood pumping through my veins. It all whisked away into nothing. Every one of my senses were focused on exactly two things. The image of our swords cutting clean arcs through the air. And Gratien's intent.
That's it. Next, overhead.
He whispered so quietly that by all rights I could never have heard it, but his intentions came through loud and clear. As if being controlled by that voice, I swung my sword down. After about half dozen such clashes, we locked blades and had a brief shoving match before putting a little distance between each other. And then we went at it again. To the audience, it would have looked like a fierce battle to the death, but it felt more like we were dancing than anything. Well, he was dancing, whereas merely following his lead. But if that was his plan, whatever his plan was, I had no choice but to dance to his beat. The only thing improvisation would get me is a sword through its heart. Meanwhile, sticking to the plan, had nothing to worry about, no reason to fear his sword might go off course. After several more fierce clashes, we got in close again. We were both breathing pretty heavily by that point. I was drenched in sweat, and felt like I collapsed right then and there if I loosened up for even a second. Gratien tossed a glance off to the side for the briefest of moments. Lips come together, curling up into a smile.
Listen up. 3 paces back, and charge. Swing down as hard as you can. Put everything you've got into it.
As soon as I signaled my acknowledgement, Gratien parried my sword off to the side. 1, 2, 3 paces back. Then I gathered my strength into my legs. A crouch, like I had at the beginning of the duel, envisioning myself as a tiger ready to pounce. And then, we leveled each other in perfect sync! What? The harsh sound of metal striking metal, more piercing than anything else up that point. For a heartbeat, the world went white. Then, the whoosh of something ripping through the air. It wasn't for another second or two that I realized what had happened. Breathing heavily, I looked down at the sword in my hands, only to find half of it missing. Gratien's blade appeared to have snapped as well. The gallery began buzzing. Are you alright? How dreadfully dangerous. A perverse grin spread across Gratien's lips. I finally understood what he had been scheming. He wanted the swords to break. He wanted to look like an accident, hoping that when the shattered blades went flying, a noble or two would be caught in the crossfire. That explained the whole song and dance, why he had us hitting each other's blades in the same spots again and again. But how the hell would you ever expect that to work? That said, if the fight had gone on much longer, I don't think it would have lasted. His plan seems to have gone about as well as you could possibly reasonably expect. One piece landed near Barnier, another bedded in a table. That's fine by me, rather avoid causing any more of a scene before the actual revolt. Not that I would be opposed to seeing any of these bad men skewered. Gratien wiped his sweat from his brow with the back of his hand and surveyed the room. As obviously outclassed as he was by all the nobles, he still seemed much larger than anyone else in the room. He took a few moments to catch his breath and sauntered over to the center of the great hall, taking another good look around the room before saying,
Apologies for the disturbance, my lord. While ordinarily a duel is supposed to end with someone dead, it looks like that's out to the question today. So mayhap we can reschedule. Put on another show in a day or two, if you like.
Barnier seemed less than pleased with the outcome, but considering how rattled his guests were, he couldn't press the matter either.
Very well. Now, I believe you two deserve a reward for such a fine show.
Oh, a kind of reward.
One I'm sure you'll be quite pleased with. Leftovers from today's feast. Gourmet cuisine, the likes of which you mere slaves could only dream of getting your dirty hands on.
You mean those bleeding scraps of mystery meat?
Ha! Worry not. There's pork in there. Or does your religion prohibit you from eating pig?
Nah, I gave up on religion long ago. I'm fine with eating meat. Most meat, anyway.
I'll have the other slaves bring it down this evening then. Now, the show's over. Be gone with you.
Gone we be, my lord.
I'm so concerned about that girl. There's nothing I can do for her right now. Hopefully she'll last long enough to revolt, but with wounds like that?
Hey, kid. Pick your beat ass up and let's get out of here.
I'm not beat, thank you very much.
Who you trying to fool when you're wheezing up a lung? Getting huffy about it only makes you look more pathetic.
Piss off, you inhuman monster.
Now, do have a wonderful day, ladies and gents.
Once we were out of the hall in the corridor, I took several deep breaths, finally letting loose some of the tension that built up within me. As we made our way through corridors, the sound of nobles laughing and chattering away among themselves faded into nothing. We headed for the rather barren waiting room where slaves without assignments were kept. In essence, was a human closet. I looked up at Gratien, who was standing beside me. I had about a dozen things I wanted to say to him, but I couldn't organize my thoughts into words. So something shrugged and pursed my lips. Yeah, that was a shame.
What was it, name?
You were hoping to kill at least one noble when the swords broke, weren't you?
If only. I'm not that skilled. Hell no.
You could have fooled me.
If anything, I'd say we were lucky it went as well as it did. It's a damn good thing they gave us their old crusty swords. Oh, we never been able to break them at all.
If not to screw one of the nobles, then why go to such lengths at all?
Well, because otherwise, we had to fight to the death, of course.
No, that's not what
Of course, we both know who'd be standing near then.
As much I hate to admit it, you guys been beaten almost every category. For God's sake, how do you even get that good with a sword? Is it hereditary or something? What I'm trying to figure out is what your ultimate objective was in this whole facade. Why challenge me to do it at all?
You're planning a revolt, aren't you, kid?
What's that had to do with anything?
To answer the question?
Denying would only delay the inevitable, so no point in that. I'm fairly certain he's on the Lord's side, at least. He was trying to win the Lord's favor. Can't imagine the duel would have ended the way it did. I could probably trust him. Yes, I am. I need the other slaves' help to pull it off.
But the little drones have been stuck to all their fight, and you can't get anyone on board.
When you ask the question, you already know the answer.
Hey now, no need for the left kid. I brought it up. Trying to tell you, I'm in.
You're in. Excuse me? What about anything you've done today would have made me think you're in?
Bear with me for a sec. You got yourself and the other slaves places. Some dick they never met before shows up out of the blue saying, I've organized and have you all set free and I'll need your help to do it. You think they're gonna buy into it?
Fair enough. But it is true that I have people outside.
Don't matter. You could be lying through your teeth and it wouldn't change a damn thing. All that matters is whether they think you're worth getting behind.
I see your point. These slaves have been driven into the very depths of despair. They need someone charismatic enough to pull them out of that pit before they can be sparked to take any sort of action. For infiltrating, I imagine it would be much simpler. It seemed that was rather naive of me.
All boils down to pull it off. Oh no. These people, they don't got the energy to get all philosophical. They go with their gut. And the quickest way to their gut, show them you're strong.
Ah, now I'm starting to understand what the duel was for. The other slaves already know your prowess. So if I were to fight on the same level as you,
Then they'd be willing to hear you out. Exactly.
huh,
Oh there. Why this side? Trying to blow this place down.
you could have easily accomplished that without putting on a damn show in front of the Lord and putting my life in danger.
It wasn't just for the other slaves.
What do you mean?
I wanted to make sure you weren't some yellow-bellied pissant. That you're actually capable of doing what you promised. And now that I know you've got a semi-functional spine, I'm willing to help you out with it.
Semi-functional, huh? Well, glad this didn't disappoint you then. Given my performance back there, couldn't blame you for deeming me beyond hope.
Give yourself a little more credit, kid. But I'm pretty sure the stories about my ancestors being gladiators are exaggerated. I did participate in a few death games myself, back before I ended up here. Consider it the badge of honor that you fought a fool like me and lived to tell the tale.
I was under the impression the church put an end to gladiatorial games.
Yeah, right. It went underground. The rules may change, but not people. There's always a market for textbooks. Then yada yada, I get sold to the Lord, and here I am.
That probably explains what he meant when he said he has given up on religion.
What's your story, kid? My mind's on characteristic. Forgotten in his head, he wanted to play hero and stop the big bad Lord from being mean to his slave.
What the hell gave you that idea?
It strikes me as more as a pretty rich boy than a ruffian, Cole.
A prissy rich boy? I come from the slums. So no, I'm not some upper-class punk playing hero.
That's a fact. You're killing me surprised. You don't talk practically to some boys I know.
It's probably because nothing.
And now I'm even more curious.
Honestly, it's not that interesting. I promise. Forget I said anything. It's because I want to be able to blend in when I eventually lead these slums. But he doesn't need to know that. Only just met him.
Whatever you say then. In that case, how about we do some proper introductions now? Name's Gratien, which you should already know. Nice meeting you, kid.
Jacobo. I'm very glad to have your support, Gratien.
Immensely. I've been wanting to make a scumbag from dirt smoke, and this is the perfect chance. Oh, right. One more thing I wanted to ask.
What?
How old are you?
Excuse me? Is that relevant to anything?
You really need to keep that thought and answer this simple question.
I'm 19.
No, I don't have to feel like an ass for calling me a kid.
I'm only a year younger. That hardly makes me a kid.
A year's a long time, kid. Now that I've got that off my shoulders, I could put my all into helping with your revolt.
Starting to wonder if you want this guy's help. Once that Gratien on board, it was remarkable how quick the rest of the slaves were to join in. They knew him, they respected him, and that respect went a long way towards improving my own standing. As far as they were concerned, I fought Gratien and managed to hold my own. And the big man was right. It wasn't a clever plan or a moving speech. These people need to put the light back in their eyes. It was a show of strength. For the next few days, as Barnier and his guests indulged themselves, word of flame quietly spread up beneath the surface. I started to see signs of light for the first time since I arrived. The majority of the slaves were emaciated and weak. There's a good possibility guards would kill many of them. But still, I urge on any who hesitate by saying, if you choose to stay, you're guaranteed to be killed eventually. It was true to be sure, but in essence, I was threatening them. Help or be left behind to die. It was enough to convince them to grab onto the threat of hope I was offering, however frail it may be. We chose a 13-day banquet to commence their revolt. Waiting until almost the end of the party's usual 2-week duration gave us a slight tactical advantage. Naturally, Barnier's guests did not attend without their own protection. But after being made to watch over almost 2 weeks of debauchery, the guards started getting exhausted. They would stop caring. That was exactly what we needed.
Hey there, Jacopo. Everything's good to go on my end. We can give Lord Asshole what's coming whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I appreciate all your help.
Go there, kid. Save the things for after we get out of here with our heads full attached.
Fair enough. Then how about this? We both survive? I'll take you to the best pub in the slums.
As long as they're pretty ladies, count me in.
There's one I can introduce to you. If you don't mind your girl's headstrong with a little bit of bite.
Off and pretty. Well, that I can get behind. I spent so long surrounded by all these half-dead drones that I can understand some good-natured abuse right about it.
Good nature might be a bit of a stretch. Rub her the wrong way, you find yourself short a pair of jewels.
I think I'll pass on that one then. I don't care how much of a looker she is. I ain't ready for her to be my last. How about this then? tell you what I'm looking for, and yeah, don't pick up for me, but I'm over. Flexible on the looks, but slender and short are a must. Beaky girls aren't really my type. Blonde hair and blue eyes are a plus, but it ain't a deal breaker. And I like them to be a bit.
Slow down there. You got your head way too far up in clouds. You think you're going to find your ideal wife at a brothel in the slums.
Hey now, how do you expect me to give this my all? Well, or two on the other side.
I suppose it is a decent motivator.
Get me.
Now, on to business. Ready to do this?
I've been ready. Just wait for the word.
That's about good as an answer as I could have hoped for. Before we begin, I want to go over the plan one last time. After you secure weapons from the armory, you take command of the other slaves and go open the gates. While you're doing that, I'll signal to my people outside and cause a diversion. As long as we don't make too much of a noise, the Lord and the other nobles shouldn't realize anything is amiss until we're on top of them. As soon as the gate is open, you head for the Great Hall where we'll rendezvous. We'll crash the party, and while the Lord and his friends are distracted, my people will lead the slaves to safety.
And then we swipe up all the shiny things we can carry and get our asses the high hell out of here.
Right. Can't forget the variables.
Yeah, I'm getting all sorts of fired up. Don't be sick and fall on some guard's sword before we even get to start over fun, you hear me?
Huh. Same to you. Well then, let's get going. May fate be on our side. Avalon to the guard's voice.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You're not supposed to be here! Get back to... Stay back! Don't make me kill you! Wait, stop!
Go ahead, Avalon.
You're up. Come on and draw your bloody cards already.
Don't
rush me. Oh, okay.
I do it.
Go ahead.
Don't rush me, I'm thinking.
On with it. It's almost lunch.
Hold this and throw away these, then I could.
Christ. Huh? You hear that? Sounds like something's happening downstairs.
Quit trying to distract me. Ain't letting you run off with the pot like last time.
No, I'm serious. Something's going on down there.
Probably just a little slave's getting beat. How you used to that by now?
I don't know. Something feels off to me. I'm gonna go check it out. And don't even think about messing with the cards while I'm gone.
I won't. Hurry back. Ain't no bonus for giving a rat's ass. So it beats me what these guys were eager about. God, I wish I could have gotten a higher place that paid a little better. Am I seeing things? I swear I just saw something move. You! On the wall! Get down from there! What do you think you're doing? You're not supposed... Stay up. But tonight, wait before I... Huh. Up here playing cards out there to call yourself a guard? I expect the resistance to be light, but not this bad. I should take care of this and get out of here before the other one returns. It's amazing how much better a knife feels in my hand than a sword. It's much easier to handle. There's not much help if I manage to draw on me first. Maybe I'll ask Gratien to teach me how to use a sword. We both make it through the day. I hate the idea of giving him any more reason to claim superiority over me. I can't think of anyone better than him. an eye on my surroundings, I climbed onto the watchtower. I could hear shouting in the distance. It seemed Gratien was doing his job. I pulled a brightly colored cloth from my pocket and flicked it to the highest point in the tower. As it began flapping in the wind, I turned my attention towards the hill in the distance. A group of tiny dots emerged from behind a rock formation, heading this way. I let out a sigh of relief. Next up, time to make some noise.
Back up! We need backup! The slaves are revolting!
Go ahead, Jordan.
Revolting? Are you serious? What do you think you're carrying that damn sword for? You shouldn't need backup. Just put them down.
Yes, but there's too many of them! And they're not messing around either! They're stampeding right through us! They don't care how many of us... They don't care how many of them die! And one of them is practically a giant!
Oh, quit pissing yourself over a bunch of damn slaves! Who cares how big one of them is? They're not armed. Just... B?
Behind you!
Huh? Sorry to disappoint you, but we are armed. Maybe you should consider posting another couple guards in front of your armory.
There he is! There he is! There he is!
Come on, little man. Let's see what you got. You're no fun. Anywho, get these gates open, boys.
Yeah!
Ooh, I think it those are Jacopose people. It actually did his job. Instead of booking it the hell out of here. Good on him. Gosh, that's exactly what I was going to do if I didn't see his people when we opened the gates. Yes, he is actually good for his word. Which means I'm sticking it through to the very end. Hey, take out as many of the bastards as you can on your way in, and be thorough. We want a clean escape, and we don't want to give them a chance to surround us. Keep at it. Don't let them get organized. If we fuck this up, the ass pipe, it's the gallows for all of us. If you need a weapon, grab a rock, a vase, a fucking decapitated head, anything you can find.
Gratien, how are things progressing?
Smooth as a baby's behind. The reinforcements are here, making right good work for the guard, and getting as many slaves out as they can.
I'm glad to hear it. Then let's head down to Great Hall.
Aye, let's. I like nothing more than to rip the Lord's head right off his shoulders.
The point is not to kill the Lord. It's to deal just enough of a blow that he stops throwing so many damn banquets. For now, anyway.
And what if I trip, and my sword just happens to run him through?
I'd rather you didn't, if that all possible, but whatever happens, happens.
Alright, let's do this.
Yeah. Is it just me, or is it unnaturally noisy in here? Some of the others beat us to it, maybe?
Far as I know, we are the first ones.
Well, I guess we'll find out. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3! Chaos reigned over the manor. But the chaos in the hall where the Lord held his banquet was of a slightly different flavor. A buzz filled the room. Noblemen and women murmured, shuffling backwards, putting distance between each other, tossing goblets to the ground. The Gratien had suspected we were the first ones there. So why was everyone so tense? The better cause of disturbance seemed it was at least partially to thank for things proceeding so smoothly. This question is, what is happening here? Out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of the Lord. He stomped over towards the far end of the hall. Sitting atop the makeshift altar was the same young girl I'd seen a week prior. For a brief moment, relief came over me at the knowledge she was still alive, but that relief quickly morphed into dread.
You!
He unlocked the shackles binding the girl. Too weak to hold herself up, she fell backwards forward into her slump, her long, burgundy hair fanning out around her limp body. And then...
You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin!
The Lord raised his sword high above his head. Gratien, I'll be borrowing that.
What? Hey, you little son of a...
What?
I hurled Gratien's long sword for the Lord, knocking his blade from his hands. The two swords rattled to the ground. I tossed my gaze to the girl for a split second. She was very clearly out of it, but she seemed to be breathing. Finally realizing a pair of slaves had just burst in on them, the noble's panic swelled, and one of them started shouting for the guards.
Well, fuck me sideways. There goes any chance we had a surprise attack, damn it all. And we had the perfect distraction, too. Ah, to hell with it. Get in here, boys.
Yeah!
Wait a second. Need my sword first.
The next second, the room was enveloped in a cacophony of shouting and screaming and clanging. Most of the nobles carried swords, but very few actually seemed to have any idea to use them, the majority scrambling for the back exit.
You insolent worm! Who do you think I am? To threaten your lord is to slight God!
Ever the cocky bastard, I see. Tell me, do you have any idea what's happening right now?
Silence, cur! You will regret ever defying me.
Huh, nothing more original. Your third-rate fairy tale villain. I was the one who had said the Lord's death was not part of my plan. Yet there I was, going straight for him. Gratien was absolutely right. The Lord had been distracted with the girl when he re-arrived, but had thrown that advantage away. I've seen God knows how many slaves killed in hardly 2 weeks. Time, adding another body to the pile should have fazed me a bit. Logically, there was no reason for me to care. But I couldn't just leave her. Of course, now that I picked a fight with the Lord, I had no choice but to follow through to the very end. I dashed for the Lord, scooping out one of Drop's swords and swinging it down on him. My blade cut through nothing but air. I'd assume he would be a pushover, but I don't know, noble obsessed with money and power and helpless to defend himself. So there was no hiding the look of shock on my face. Damn, he could move. Barnier slid out of range, swiping the remaining sword off the ground and whipping it through the air with practiced grace.
Perhaps you should save this night yapping for when you have the skill to back it up, insignificant cur.
Huh, we'll see you still feel the same way when I'm through with you. I closed the gap, we clashed. He swung, I parried. Steel and steel ripped through the hot air, carving ephemeral silver arcs in empty space. Our blades locked.
What are you hoping to accomplish with this revolt? What's your endgame?
My endgame? To get out of this hellhole and be free from slavery once for and for all.
I have my doubts about whether you were ever a slave at all. But no matter. Why attack me? What do you care about the girl? What do you have to gain from saving her?
He's right. I have nothing to gain from rescuing the girl. All I accomplish is making this whole process needlessly messy. That said, does it need to have something to gain? Are you saying I should just sit back and watch as you murder an innocent little girl? I was angry, and I thought I'd do something about it. Nothing more, nothing less. Is that really so hard to understand?
Nothing more than a childish hero complex. Just the answer I would expect from a foolish little boy with his head in his clouds.
Excuse me?
You're a puny little worm, powerless to truly save anyone. You merely want to help the girl so you can pat yourself on the back and pretend you did a good deed. You simply want an excuse to be proud of yourself, of your worthless self. Look at her. The girl's hardly even breathing. She'll be dead soon enough with or without my help.
And who do you think is to blame for that? You don't have any right to judge the value of her life.
My role in this is irrelevant. Was saving a dead girl part of the plan? It wasn't, was it? You diverged from the script to rescue a girl whose life is of no worth to you whatsoever. All so you could momentarily feel good about yourself. That misstep will be the downfall of you, worm!
Enough!
I'll put you back in the ground where you belong.
Not a chance! God damn! For a flamboyantly dressed asshole, you sure can fight. It's not nearly as much force behind the swings as Gratien, but he's quick. I can barely keep up, let alone react.
I hope you enjoy eternity in hell. You have plenty of time to reflect on your little lapse in judgment.
Yeah, damn it! Can't let this bastard kill me when we're so close to succeeding. I need to keep my cool. Yes, he got me being agility. But Gratien's a much more skilled swordsman than him. I can handle this. Nah!
Huh? Sheer determination can only mask a lack of skill for so long, boy. Look at yourself. You're out of breath. That sword you're flailing around is getting heavier and heavier.
Shut your mouth. Damn it! Or have you even broken a sweat? I swear to God, I will have your head! Ah! Jordan.
Lord Barnier. Lord Barnier, your escape has been secured, my lord.
It seems our fun is over. Be grateful you're still breathing, Ka.
Hey, wait! We're not done yet! Get back here! God damn you! I made to go after him, but in an instant, a wall of guards had formed between us. Traces of fear were visible in most of their eyes. Even exhausted as I was, I could have probably made it through. But before I could so much as consider an attempt to give chase, I caught a glimpse of the girl, limped and covered in gashes, caused me to come back to my senses. I must have gotten tuned into me. There's no point in going after him. The slaves have been freed and his valuables plundered. The plan was a huge success. What I should be concerned with is now is getting myself out of here. I need to stay focused. I took a moment to survey the hall, reevaluate the situation. Things had progressed somewhat since I had got it in my head to go after the Lord. Many slaves were gone, and the guards were beginning to mobilize. They were better equipped, trained, and more fit than us. We were, for the most part, fueled entirely by determination and righteous anger, which would only go so far in direct combat. Gratien was probably the only one on our side with any sort of real training. One man was not enough to win this fight, especially now that our main advantage, the prize, were exhausted.
Hey, Jacobo. If you're finished with your business, I'd really like to get the hell out of here. I may be a badass, but I ain't the god.
Right. Yeah, sorry for the hold-up. Before regrouping with Gratien, I knelt before the girl. Hello? Can you stand? Hello? Can you hear me? I gently shook the girl by the shoulder. The only response I got was this little limp wag of her head. It was clear she was in no condition to walk. I guess I'll have to carry her, I thought. made to pick her up. When I saw her face and gasped, dear God, it was horrific. Unsettling marks covered the young girl's face. Primal repulsion was my first reaction. Shortly thereafter came overwhelming pity. I obviously had no way of knowing what kind of life the girl had led. But something told me it was far worse than any countless children who grew up in the slums, struggling day after day.
Hey, it's moving. We ain't waiting around.
I'm coming! I grabbed the girl's arms, wrapping them around my neck from behind, and climbed to my feet. I could feel her breath, faint though it was on my ear. You hang in there. And then I broke into a dash, leaving a fade and panic at the great hall behind. Nuttily.
So bright. Lights. Am I in heaven?
God damn, she's surprisingly heavy for how little meat she has on her.
What, you think she get lighter the harder you ran or something? Just ditch the stupid head. You ain't long for this world anyway.
Hell no. I'm not gonna let all the effort facing off against the Lord go to waste.
You're one stubborn son of a bitch, you know that?
This is not heaven. Who are these people? Where am I going? I don't have strength to think right now.
Hey! Don't you go die on me back there. Please, I'm begging you.
I'm so sleepy. Sleep sounds wonderful. How nice it would be to fall asleep in such a warm bed.
Probably safe here, for the time being. So, what next?
First, I need to take her somewhere she can get some rest.
Yeah, you've got nothing in that head of yours except that half-dead girl, do you, kid? What, you foster her or something? Is that what gets your rocks off? Can you only get it up for the ugliest thing in the city? Not to mention, she can't be older than 10. I'd like to think myself as open-minded, but that squicks me, man.
No! God, no! Absolutely not! I'm here to concern for her well-being.
Right. Of course you are. Well, everyone's got their kinks.
I swear to God.
What I'm wanting to know is what you're planning to do about all those slaves you just freed. They can't stay here.
Not a chance to defend myself. Right. My people have taken care of that. They make arrangements several slave traders have agreed to transport them to other cities. After that, who knows?
So you set them free and then just abandon them.
Obviously. I'm not some rich kid playing hero. I gave who knows how many people the opportunity to change their lives. I think I did damn good work, if you ask me.
Fair enough. Can't expect you to give them the world. Setting the slaves free wasn't even the main objective.
You're more perceptive than you look.
Damn straight. Anywho, I'm planning to stick around for a bit. You still owe me that night with the pretty lady.
In that case, you should head down to the pub. Probably find some of my people there. The ones who are injured, at least.
Aye, aye.
Especially like to take her to a real doctor. Probably do best not to show my face in the city proper so soon after making a mess of the Lord's manor. When his guards were to spot me, probably not end well. Which means she is my only hope.
It's still afternoon. We're not open until evening.
It's me, Maria. Let me in.
Capo. You're alive? You have any idea how worried I was? I mean, fucking hell. I haven't slept in 2 weeks.
I bet my life that just woke you up.
Oh, shove it. It's a sentiment that counts. Anyway, I'm glad you're... Wait. What the hell is that on your back? A corpse?
Should be one soon we don't do something. But for the time being, she's still alive.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. I have about 1,000 things I want to say right now, but let's start with this. What exactly are you planning to do with her here? I mean, she looks like she got mauled by a fucking lion.
I need to stay low for a while. I can't risk showing my face in the city. So I was wondering if you would mind letting her stay here for a while.
Excuse me? Let her stay here?
And we could look after her while she's here, I would appreciate it.
No. Stop. Time out. I'm not doing anything without an explanation. First of all, who is she? And what the hell happened to her?
The Lord was torturing her. I rescued her during the revolt.
Okay. Keep going.
That's all there is to it.
That's a pretty pathetic explanation.
I'm telling you, that's all there is to it. What more do you want from me?
So, you're telling me you infiltrated the Lord's manor to swipe a half-dead little girl you've never even met before? You couldn't have gone for, oh, I don't know, something worth actual money? She's just skin and bones, and God knows if those wounds will ever heal. Though if she's pretty enough, we might be able to put her to work, I guess. Let me get a quick look at. I have no words. I can't.
Please, Maria. The longer we stand here, the closer she gets to death.
And once she recovers, if she even does, what then? How does she pay for her food? 'Cause she sure as shit can't work here. I'm not sure there's much work she can even do. We're a business, not a charity. If I'm going to be putting my time and money into looking after her, I need something in return. And she doesn't look like she'll be able to offer much of anything.
I can offer some financial assistance. You plunder a decent amount of valuables from the Lord's treasury. You don't have to divide everything up. My share should be enough to support her for some time.
I don't get it. Why do you care so much?
What? Do you expect me to just leave her to die? I won't be able to live with myself knowing that I could have done something to prevent it. I swear to God, Does anyone have a damned heart? Because everyone sure seemed hellbound on letting her die.
Whoa, relax, chill. You live here long enough, Jacopo. You should know as well as anyone that morals and good intentions aren't enough to help anyone.
I don't care. I want to help her. She can't be any older than 10. And her face could very well still heal. I couldn't stand to see her life end like this. Abused and tortured by a madman. It's downright cruel. She deserves better. She deserves to know the world's not all hell and misery.
Oh, fine, fine. You win. I surrender. I know better than anyone there's no changing your mind once you're set on something. God, you can be so hot-headed sometimes.
So, will you help?
Well, it's not like anyone else is going to. Now, whether she makes it or not is a question of how much that scrawny body of hers is determined to hold on. So, what are you waiting for? Bring her on in.
Thank you, Maria. I really appreciate it.
Ugh, cut it out with the mushy crap. You're gonna make me spew. Please, just stick to your usual snippy bitch act. I'm gonna get a bath going. Give me a hand. You should be able to get some rest here. Hardly anyone comes back here, even during business hours. I have to say, though, even cleaned up, she's a damn mess. People say the Lord's a twisted bastard, but this is way worse than I imagined. Who would do this to such a young girl? Oh, and for the record, I checked, and she's still, chaste, if you would. Good to know the Lord's not that fucked up, I guess. Thank goodness for the small blessings. Not that preserving her virginity is a whole lot of comfort compared to what he did do.
Maria, show a little common decency, would you?
Telling a whore to be decent is just like telling a cat to bark.
Well, start barking, goddammit! Why do you think I need to know whether she's chaste or not?
I checked, so I figured I'd mention it.
Keep it to yourself!
You know, for someone who spends so much time in a whorehouse, you sure are easily embarrassed.
Huh? What was that?
Oh, nothing.
Besides, one reason I'm here is so much to help out with the business side of things, not to make use of facilities.
So you did hear me.
Hey, Maria!
Oh, is she coming too? Hey there, how are you feeling? Can you see me? I've got some warm water if you're up to drinking anything. Still too weak to move on your own, looks like. That's alright. Hang on, I'll go grab it and help you out.
Oh, Lord.
Sounds like she just said something.
A flame be put off mine enemies.
Huh? Enemies?
All of them that afflict my soul.
Hello? You okay in there?
For I am thy. O Lord,
It's okay. He's not here. We escaped. He can't hurt you anymore.
of thy mercy,
It's okay.
destroy all of them.
Hey, Jacopo, not to be indecent, but I think she might be, beyond repair, and not just physically.
No need to jump to conclusions. She could simply be disoriented. You're safe. There are no enemies here. No need to be afraid. You'll be feeling better in no time. Just need some rest. The human body is incredibly adept at repairing itself. I have some ointment for you soon, too.
You'll what? Ointment? How are you expecting to pay for...
Don't interrupt me, Maria.
Christ.
Just hang in there a little longer. You'll be all better before you know it. Is there anything you need or want? Don't hesitate to ask. I'll get you anything within reason. I guess this took me a bit before we can talk much, huh? Maria, I need to drop by the pub for a bit. I'll get some ointment on my way.
Butterfly, butterfly, brooch gone.
Butterfly brooch? What's she talking about? Is she seeing things or something?
Perhaps, or maybe the Lord took it from her.
My treasure.
Alright, I'll see if I can find it while I'm out. If it's something the Lord took from you, there's a chance it might be in the stuff we looted from his manor. I'll be back later today. You get some rest, okay? Look after her while I'm gone, would you, Maria?
I already agreed, so it's not like I can say no. Just remember, I've got work to do, so I can't be with her every waking moment.
A room, a warm blanket, and you checking in on every once in a while is more than enough. Thank you. Anyway, I'll be back.
Ciao. Hey, Jacopo,
Yeah?
don't get in over your head, okay?
I won't. Avalon, go for Paul.
And then I... Wait. And then I charged in. Me trusty blade held high, cutting off Barnier's last escape route. The poor bastard straight up and pissed himself, begging and crying for his life.
Nika, go ahead.
Oh, you were never even in the same room as him. You lying scoundrel.
It ain't the details, but the spirit what matters. And I had enough spirit in me to bring the Lord himself to his knees.
Jordan, go ahead.
Get this worthless twit.
I took out 10. No, 20 cards all by myself. This scar on my back is a trophy, proof of my valiant exploits and I think all the yelling opened the wrong wound again.
The only thing a scar on your back proves is that you turned tail and ran, you little chicken shit.
You tell him.
Well, so it looks like they're enjoying themselves. Perhaps a little too much, compared to how many seem to have drunk themselves comatose. Not that I don't understand one to celebrate.
Oh, at last! You graced us with your presence. Where the hell have you been? We've been waiting.
What? He made a Manadasha. What is... Scratch that.
Oh, sorry.
I see how it is. You'd rather celebrate with her than us. Must be nice, putting prostitutes before your comrades at arms.
I'm not putting anyone before anyone. Another friend of mine works there. Nothing more.
Oh, no need to be bashful. You can make up for it by getting your butt over here and drink with us. You were the star of the show, after all.
The what?
The one who infiltrated the Lord's manor. Today wouldn't have been possible without you. You did good work, and everyone here knows it.
For the record, I was going to do it myself, but I decided to let you have the honor. Would rally the slaves together and half the time it took you.
Tell that to the scar on your back, chicken shit.
You tell him.
I see risking your lives haven't made you three any less unruly. I'm glad you all made it out alive. Truly. On that note, do we have any idea of what the casualty numbers look like?
Bunch of wounded, but nobody dead. Good fortune was on our side.
Raw, unmatched skill, you mean? We're the trifecta of terror.
The trifecta of twats, more like. The only reason you and your band made it out unscathed is because we slaves were on the front lines. You have any idea how many we lost?
Gratien!
Hello again? Looking surprisingly sober. Not drinking, huh?
Just finished my first cast, actually. Let me tell you, these guys are damn lightweights. Hardly even put up a fight.
So the pile of bodies in the corner is Gratien's doing, huh? What on earth is his stomach made of?
So, boys, if you really think you're such a shit, how about you show me what you're made of? Let's drink. See if you live up to your trifecta of tarts or whatever the hell it was.
Well, we actually, we want to take our time drinking, you know, enjoy ourselves. Over yonder.
Yeah, the wound in my back hurts. If I drink too much, besides.
You tell him.
Godspeed,
Jacobo. Wait, get back here. God damn it.
A bunch of pussies. You won't run at me now, will you, kid?
I still have things to take care of. I had to find somewhere to get some ointment, and I'm looking for a missing butterfly brooch as well.
A brooch? You mean this thing?
Yes, that! That must be it. The girl says it belonged to belongs to her. Could I have it so I can give it back?
I don't know. I am the one who found it.
There's plenty more in the loot pile. What do you care about a worthless scrap of metal?
Look on me, to be honest.
What a load of bull. Fine, I'll buy it. What do you want for it?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Beat me in a drinking contest, and it's all yours.
Excuse me? Beat you? You went through an entire cask.
What? We haven't even started, and you're already admitting defeat? For the star of the show, you sure are a wuss. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. The revolt never would have happened without me. Soon everyone will know who the real star of today's show was. Yours truly.
Fine. Are you so desperate for a playmate? I'm down for your little game. But let me tell you, I hold my liquor quite well, thank you very much. I'll wipe that smug grin off your face and shove it in a barrel full of your own vomit.
That's the fucking spirit. That prissy face of yours will be licking the chamber pot when I'm done with you.
Avalon.
Hey, fellas! Gratien and Jacobos are having a drink contest! Another one?
Yeah, just do a different voice.
Okay. Gratien! Who the hell is that? Do we have a Gratien? Right over there! The big fella! He helped with the revolt. Used to be a gladiator. A gladiator? Those two exist? I'm putting my money on Gratien. Bloody traitor! Jacopo's been with us from the very beginning. I'm betting on him.
Looks like we've drawn quite the crowd. You got yourself an impressive little fan club, kid.
When you've been in Sloan so long as I have, you get to know pretty much everyone.
More to humiliate you in front of. Right then, the rules are simple. Whoever stays conscious longest wins. Though I doubt there'll be much of a contest.
Yeah, you just keep pretending you have a chance. Your tooth will hit you soon enough.
On the count of 3. 3! What's the matter, kid? You're looking a little sluggish. And this is only glass 4.
Huh, look at you. Your eyes are going bloodshot. Y'all talk after all.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Hey, who's one? Keep them coming. I could do this for hours. More feel rough.
I was quicker than you that time.
You're way better than you look. But over it, I got a full cast on you. You're running with a handicap.
Huh, I'm not the one who challenged you. You're just making excuses for when I beat your ass. How many does this make? 10, 20? I lost count.
Thrown in the towel, are you? What did I tell you? I think. World.
Are you even hear yourselves?
So stupid. It's stupid. I never liked you. Not for 1 second.
What? Resorting to childish insults now, are we?
I was planning to start a revolt long before you ever showed up. Then you come marching in and took all the glory for yourself. Fucking who you even think you are?
Were you now? Well, how'd you know I never liked you either? you think you just because you can swing a sword around like a big ape, that makes you better than everyone?
What the fuck you just fucking say about me, you little punk? You wanna go, eh? You wanna go?
Hey, you wanna go? Take another drink. Isn't that what we're doing this for? Huh?
Oh, that's right. Let's up again. Wench.
The world is spinning. That's all you got? Your face is red as a baboon's ass.
And you're as pale as a fucking mark. One more round. Oh, Christ.
You can try. Nika.
Excuse me? Huh?
What? What's your problem?
Where's the booze?
Ew. Please, don't be angry with me. Well, we're all out of everything.
You what?
And go get more? This ain't the only pub in town.
Everyone's out everywhere.
So...
It's the draw?
How anticlimactic.
Seriously. What? Horrible.
Just...
He's just sleeping. God, he may be the rarest man I've ever met.
Is he going to be okay? That looked like it really hurt.
Leave him be. He'll wake up when he needs to piss, probably. On that note, I'll beat a latrin. Nika.
Maria, it's almost time to open up.
Gotcha. I'll be out in a sec. You get some rest. Hear me? I've got to run for a bit, but you shouldn't have to worry about anyone coming back here. There's an urn filled with water in the mess hall if you get thirsty. You can't hear a word I'm saying, can you? Well, night.
I entreat you, think long and hard about your actions.
Welcome, daughter of God. You'll be performing miracles for me now.
A man stood before me. There were several young girls in the room. They looked like prostitutes. Some of them might have been boys. The man's clothes were beautiful. His jewelry glimmered in the light. His eyes glimmered too, but with madness, not beauty. He was the lord of the land. I had been taken from my home, and now I was kneeling before the Lord.
And if you cooperate, I can guarantee you live more than comfortably.
I looked up at the Lord sternly. He was a scary man, but I couldn't let fear stand in my way. I was the daughter of God, His beloved servant on this earth. I had to act according to His will. Miracles are not something to be performed for one single person's benefit.
What?
Miracles are not magic or parlor tricks. They are a precious gift granted to me by my Father in heaven. Using His power for personal gratification is a grave sin. I will do no such thing. I entreat you to think long and hard about your actions. Do away with such selfish desires and dedicate yourself to helping the people. The power you have given was bestowed upon you by the hand of God. It is not your power. He is merely allowing you to make use of it for a short time. Pride is a sin. Please consider how you conduct yourself.
You're an ignorant, insolent child, aren't you? I bought you. You are my property. You have no right to an opinion.
That is not my opinion. That is the way of the world, as God.
Silence! You're not here to talk. You're here to perform miracles for me and my guests.
The Lord glared angrily down at me. I gulped, biting my lip to keep it from place. I steeled myself, fought down every urge to look away. As I have already told you, I will do no such thing. But the Lord would not hear him. With a sickening laugh, he took a step towards me.
What you will or will not do is my decision, not yours.
No! Get your hands off! Grabbed me, threw me onto the hard floor. I can't be too loud because I'm in a hotel, but... Ah!
It seems you need someone to show you your place, child. You are my property. You want to do as I say. You are not to talk back or criticize. And you are to give everything to me. Your life, your body, your soul, your love. Every last thing.
My love and my soul are for my Father only, God. I am no man's property.
You can call yourself whatever you want. You still feel pain like everyone else. You still scream. What's a little scratch on the arm anyway? How many times have you cut yourself performing miracles, Saint? Surely you've accustomed to the pain by now. Now, for the first taste of your so-called miracle blood. I imagine it must be truly exquisite if what they say about you is to be believed. That your birth brought an end to a terrible drought.
No.
Give unto me your blessing, Saint.
Please, I beg of you, don't do this. I'm begging you, please. My blood is meant for the sick, the poor, the suffering. My miracles were meant for those who needed them. Is this another of your trials for me, Father? Well, there are so many people. They're looking at me and laughing.
Well, well. Good morning, daughter of God. I hope you slept well.
What's going on? What are all these people doing here?
As I told you, you're here to perform miracles for me and my guests.
No. I tried to twist away, but a jolt of pain ran up my arm. Looking down, I saw heavy shackles around my wrist. I was sitting atop a white sheet on what looked like an altar. And I was naked. No, why am I?
Now, surely you, the daughter of God herself, are not ashamed of the body your father gave you now, are you? You're not some lowly peasant girl. You're above shame, aren't you?
What do you think you're doing? This is an act of blasphemy. The Lord pressed his hand against my mouth, bringing his face just inches away from mine.
I would encourage you not to insult my guests, Saint. Your job is to provide them with your blood, not give sermons.
He placed a knife against my neck. Intense pain jolted through my body.
No tears. Now that's a good girl. It simply wouldn't be the same if you cried in blubbered like a lowly slave or a whore. Dignified and saintly. That's what I need you to be.
The Lord brought a goblet to his neck, filling it with the blood flowing from the gash. He raised it high into the air.
Yes! A saint's blood and good fortune to all!
And then started passing it around to his guests. Staring hazily out into the crowd, I prayed. Prayed that someone might speak up. Might proclaim this to be the terrible affront against the Lord that it was. Might declare that I should be set free. That someone, anyone, would speak against the Lord.
Ha ha! What a wonderful curious iron you found yourself with, Lord Barnier. Clara.
Indeed, you never felt a surprise, my lord.
But his wealthy companions had no objection. In fact, they were quite pleased, smiling and laughing, teeth bared. Most of them looked like they had never gone a day in their lives without a proper meal. And all of them were wearing masks to hide their faces. An unholy Sabbath. A filthy, perverse blood Sabbath. My consciousness began slipping away, not from pain, but despair. I couldn't bear the sight of them, these men and women who didn't fear God, reveling in depravity. They were monsters dressed in fancy clothing. Or perhaps they were demons, taking the form of humans. And these were the gates of hell. The Lord held such banquets on a regular basis. And every time he did, he drained me of my blood. Before long, my body was covered in scars and gashes. I could hardly even bear to look at my own arms and legs. In some places, I was purple and swollen. In others, my skin seemed to curl back to reveal the raw, pink flesh underneath. Everywhere, I was wet and slick with blood. The wounds were far worse, far more hideous than any I had given myself to help the people of my village. It was gut-wrenching, repulsive. The Lord sometimes had trouble deciding where to cut, but not out of any sense of sympathy for me. He simply thought that drawing blood from an untouched area of my body was more effective.
Perhaps I'll use your stomach today, Saint. I should be able to get some nice, pure blood from there.
At that point in time, I hadn't been completely stripped of my willpower quite yet. Because my physical restraints prevented me from fighting back, I put all my energy into ensuring my spirit did not yield to. Stop this! Can you not comprehend what you're doing is an affront to the Lord?
I'm free to do whatever I wish with my property. Saint or not, you are no different than any of my slaves.
The Lord is greatly displeased with your action.
Then use your miracle powers to deliver divine punishment on me. Go on. You can do that, can't you?
Your soul will be punished. You may not see the effects now, but you will pay for your sins one day.
You're not as threatening as you think you are, buck-naked girl. Don't give me that look, girl. I have no interest in taking that from you. You'd be lucky to find anyone willing to lay with a girl covered in disgusting scars. Oh, and I almost forgot. You need to eat too, don't you, daughter of God? I'm told consuming meat increases the amount of blood your body produces. So I've acquired some special exotic meat just for you.
No. I don't want your meat.
Okay, weirdly sexual. Now, don't be difficult. I can't have you running out of blood on me, so you will eat this meat, even if I have to force it down that tiny throat of yours. Slave boy, get in here. Bring the saint her supper. Hurry up, you worthless worm.
Jordan.
My apologies. They keep you waiting, my lord.
You dare drop food before your lord, cur! You've ruined my robes! Are you incapable of even carrying a damn plate across the room?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Stop it, please. Does he really deserve to be hit for that?
A slave's sole purpose in life is to serve their master. A slave who cannot follow simple orders deserves whatever punishment I decide they deserve, Saint.
Please have mercy. Don't kill me too. I beg of you.
Alright. Then this is how we'll handle it. If you eat the meat, Saint, I'll turn a blind eye to the boy's mistake.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll eat the meat. How much you want, I'll eat it. But please, do not raise your hand against the boy any further.
Very well.
With a satisfied smirk, the Lord returned the fallen meat to the plate and set it before me. I almost gagged at the stench. It didn't appear to be spoiled, but nonetheless it was indescribably unpleasant. In no small part, I imagine, because it was raw. Dude, I love raw meat.
What's the matter? You said you would eat. Or was that simply a lie to stay my hand, daughter of God?
I'll eat it. Still shackled, so I had no choice but to bend forward and take a piece, mouth like a wild animal. I tried to clear my mind, to not think about what I was doing. How I must have looked. A holy saint of the Lord, unclothed and in chains, gnawing at raw meat like a stray dog. Miserable, graceful. Ugh, it smells so bad. And I've never tasted anything like this before.
Why?
What?
Why? What did he do?
The slave boy, still on the floor from the Lord's beating, was looking over at me with vacant eyes. Or rather, the meat. Ooh. No. No. You wouldn't. This isn't... Is it?
You didn't deserve this.
No. I would never. I couldn't. No. Blech.
Well, well. Is the meat not to your liking then, Saint? Hear that, slave? The Saint says your brother tastes so bad it makes her retch.
No. I didn't know.
But you didn't keep your word now, did you? Listen up, boy. It's the dungeon for you.
No, please, no, please, no.
Guards, someone shut this worm up and toss him into the dungeon.
Please, no.
He's mad. Everyone's completely mad. How can a man like him, a man so twisted and cruel, exist on God's earth? Someone, please, get me out of here. Take me away from this place. Anyone? Oh, Father who art in heaven, I pray for you to lead me on to deliverance. Father, our trials, they are much too great.